It is summit day. It is still before sunrise and I am kind of hunkered here in the tent because it's chilly and windy and I don't want to leave my sleeping bag yet. But I am gonna have to get packed up here soon because I want to start heading up the mountain at first light because this is going to be a very big day. I have about 2,000 feet of climbing in a mile to get to the summit. It's supposed to be just steep, a pretty straightforward climb. There's nothing technical or crazy about it. It's just gonna be steep. Oh yeah, it was a windy night. I did not get as much sleep as I had hoped, but I got enough. I got enough. The pillow was nice. But yeah, just waiting on a little bit of pre-dawn light to get packed up, and then I'm gonna be heading up that mountain. Well, I got packed up and I dropped down into the basin below Freezer Pass up there and am en route to this summit. It looks really intimidating. There's supposed to be a path that kind of cuts up through here, goes up this, and then this is the summit, so it is right there, but it's gonna be a lot of loose rock nonsense until there, which I'm not particularly looking forward to. But the sunset was gorgeous. Yeah, I'm hoping to just make good time on this because I do have a big day, but also trying to take my time because this is a beautiful spot. Let's go get that summit. I gained the saddle. The wind is insane, but the summit is just right up there. Oh my gosh, I got less than 1,000 feet to go to the summit. 8,000 feet going to 9,000. Woohoo! I made it to the summit of Mount Maude. I had to get in the wind shelter here because the wind coming up the valley to the east is ferocious. But oh my God, 9,018 feet, 15th tallest mountain in Washington. And that was a steep climb to get up here, and it was so worth it. Oh my God. These mountains and the glaciers on display are just jaw-dropping. Oh my God. But I'm not going to be able to give the full tour because the wind that way is horrendous. But we can look this way. So, the star of the show that I've been looking at a lot of this trip is Glacier Peak. And then, up north we have Mount Baker, and this is another one of the Washington top 100 peaks. This is Seven Finger Jack. I'll show you a picture from below that shows like the 7 distinctive fingers. And that's the summit. And they've got Glacier feeding down the valley. It's just incredible. And there's so many peaks here. There are a lot of other top 100 peaks here. I don't know all of their names. I might include a photo with them all labeled. There's just, you know, iconic mountains in all directions. And I can see Rainier to the south. This feels so good. The air is thin. Like, I can tell the air is thinner up here. I'm at 9,000 feet. It's just so peaceful. It is like frighteningly quiet at some points. And then other points, the wind is screaming up the valley. But it's all just the sounds of nature. This just feels like true remote wilderness, just surrounded by so many amazing mountains. And all the glaciers. That's, I think, one of my favorite parts, is seeing the glaciers. I'm going to enjoy the summit up here before I have to start a very long descent, because I worked very hard for this view and I intend to enjoy it. I just came off the summit and I do have to start heading back down, and I am hoping to be back to my car within 6 hours. I have 7.5 miles and I don't know, like 5,500 feet of descent. It's gonna be spicy, it's gonna be a long day. I plan on just taking it slow and steady, no mistakes, but the hardest part is going to be descending Maude, going into the basin, then climb back up Freezer Pass. After that, it's all downhill for me, but I have one more little bit of uphill that I'm not looking forward to. But it's time to say goodbye to the summit, head back down. I got a lot of work to do, but it is going to be gorgeous. I mean, Glacier Peak Wilderness in the North Cascades, you know. made it down off of Freezer Pass, which was probably the hardest part, minus the other hard part, which is climbing back down out of Leroy Basin. So I have to cross the basin, then go back down, then it's an easy 3.5 miles to my car. All of the climbing on this route is steep. There's flat and then it gets very steep. So it's been fun to navigate. But I'm not gonna be doing too much filming. I'll probably just shoot some pictures of the beautiful views on the way back down, because yeah, I am motivated to get down as quickly and safely as I can. I am tired and would like to go home and get a home-cooked meal. I survived the descent from Leroy Basin, and now I am on the last 2 miles out of here, which are pretty flat, and gosh, I am just exhausted. Fortunately, the final 2 miles are easy, and I'm gonna wrap up when I get home because yeah, the only thing I'm thinking about is what food I'm going to get on the way home. So I will wrap up tomorrow when I can reflect more, because that was a really awesome climb. It was tough, but it was awesome, and I am so hyped I got the summit. But right now, got to get back to the car, get food. Well, that was Mount Maude, the 15th tallest mountain in Washington. And at just over 9,000 feet, that is the highest I have ever climbed in the state. And gosh, I am so glad I got the summit. The Chihuahua Mountains and the Glacier Peak Wilderness, that whole area was just stunning. I think the camp from Freezer Pass and just the views, that has to be one of the all-time best campsites I have ever had in my life. On top of the sunset and sunrise views, it was just gorgeous. And Maude itself is surprisingly easy for how big of a mountain it is. Make no mistake, it is challenging, it is steep, but it's not technical. There's no like serious scrambling involved. It's all class 2. You're just going up very steep grades. And I am not kidding when I say steep, like 50 to 60% grades in scree. A lot of the climbing reminded me of Asgard Pass, and I think overall the difficulty is comparable to the enchantments. It felt very similar terrain type stuff, but wow, what an amazing area. I have been wanting to get into that specific section of Washington for a while, and I was not disappointed. The massive mountains on display are just something else, and it is one of those sections of wilderness that really just does feel rugged and wild, and you truly are in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, those panoramic summit views of just mountains in all directions with Glacier Peak have to be some of my favorites. It was absolutely everything I had hoped it would be. After I climbed Black Peak last year, I really wanted to climb a 9,000 foot mountain in the state, and so I did that, and gosh, it just made me want to go back to that area because it was just so beautiful. But yeah, it was also so much fun because it was so empty, which again added to the remote feeling of the wilderness. But yeah, highly recommend. It's a really tough climb, be prepared, but it's definitely very doable. I am still in summer climbing season mode. I still have most of September left for summer, so I am very excited to keep getting out there. But anyway, yeah, this is definitely a memorable climb for me. Thank you so much for watching, and here are my favorite pictures from the climb. Enjoy.